of this in the background, so I wanted to hear more of it. Especially when I saw that it
Oh,
was
good thinking.
a Sensei remix. I was curious about why that was titled that, so we can ask those kinds of questions first.
Hey, see, look at you preparing for this. This is already going better than a lot of my stream appearances.
But it's not Sensei, it's Snese.
It was. I figured we would address that during the whole thing.
Makes sense. It's got layers like an onion.
Like an ogre.
Ogre's also
Like a Shrek.
Our friend from high school, I just saw one of our good friend's sisters is doing. She got the role of the gingerbread man with Shrek the musical.
That is fantastic. I don't think I knew that existed, and I'm delighted by this entire story now.
Yeah, it was weird, right? Because I know the family kind of well, and
right.
I so badly wanted control without Shrek
Uh-huh.
the musical, but I figured that would be a bad look because it's a big deal for her singing career to be in a real musical and stuff at the same time.
Right.
Not that Shrek is
Right.
bad.
No, it's just hilarious to think though, right? Because it's like somebody you kind of knew personally, and the existence of Shrek the musical is kind of silly on its face, right? So the fact that you know somebody who's now got I assume a not insubstantial part, right? At least in the movies, I feel like the gingerbread man gets some good lines.
The gingerbread man has a pretty large role.
My buttons. My gumdrop buttons. That's what
The Muffin Man? Yeah, exactly.
but she's gotta sing it. And good for her, they're not gingerbread man, but she's playing the parts like Shakespeare in reverse.
I was just about to say that happens a lot on stage, right? I have incredibly limited theater experience, but I know that's it kind of just boils down to who's there and who can put the right hair on. It's like being in Kids in the Hall.
I'll just point out that this is not a Shrek.
Yeah, that will get us taken down, I'm pretty sure. It's like those bootleg streams of Book of Mormon that were going around for people that couldn't actually go see it. It was. I'm assuming at some point lawyers got involved, but I know for a long time it was just on Broadway. There was a pretty crappy phone camera version that was going around the usual torrent sites, and that was the only way people saw it for a long time. Because I guess it didn't actually tour America for a real long time.
I feel like if I had to pick between being a Book of
Mhm.
Mormon person and being a Hamilton person, both are silly, but
They are.
I saw Book of Mormon. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure Book of Mormon is cool, but it's I don't know. I worry a lot of it kind of attracts the grumpy YouTube atheist sort of audience, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's definitely not my scene.
Oh, my voice is gone.
No,
How's that?
I'm not gonna say.
Sorry.
I'm good. I can't actually tell how loud I am, and I'm a loud dude sort of by nature. So if I need to dial it back, let me know.
Sure. No, it works for me. I just am lazy and don't use
Alright.
headphones. But you know what? Since we're getting
Oh,
competitive
you're
with
good.
it, I got a pair of headphones.
Yeah, you got to get your gaming setup on. Yeah.
My friend's like, your voice is low, and I was like, that's because otherwise it will echo.
Right. No, we
Which
we struggled with that. We struggled with that a lot this week. And we did a stream at our bass player's house where we all took turns being really bad at Street Fighter. And the way the audio setup worked, we actually had just our audio monitor, quote unquote, was actually just his computer in another room watching our stream so we could hear us back after the fact. It was real pro.
So that's one way to do it, right? That's like when you're recording something using an 1/8-inch cable from a 1/4-inch
Yep.
cable into the recording output on your tower.
And
into
then
Audacity.
and then any note you play, yeah, that's a good 4 beats till you actually hear it. Oh yeah. When I was younger and I was trying to do that Jeff Rosenstock thing everybody does, where they try to like just be their own band, my computer was like slow and bad enough to the point where I would actually just like record the guitar parts and everything on like a separate little like digital 8-track to like a click track, and then just put it all in the computer and edit it together in a way that made sense. Because there was no way I was going to be able to like keep time with an actual drum kit with how slow my computer was.
My God, that's like
It was more steps. Yeah.
That's stressful just to think about, you know.
Yeah, in hindsight, I can't understand why I didn't stick with it, right?
Oh man, we ran one time what was it? I want to say a 1/4-inch reel-to-reel, like a
Oh boy.
a TAC reel-to-reel into
Okay.
a laptop with Audacity on it. That was something else. Using exactly that, the recording input on the computer and an 1/8-inch and 1/4-inch cable going from the headphone out of the TAC.
How did that come out sounding? Because I laugh, but I almost feel like there's like something you can get from this approach.
For a first time around the block recording, I would say it was, you know, could have been worse. You can mute the tracks as you export them, so you just have to play it back like 4 or 5 times. Depending on how many
Right.
tracks
Oh,
you're
okay.
trying to
So you literally had to like rewind it just to catch
Yep.
like bass and drums and everything individually. Awesome.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, now I see
know
why.
that-
Yeah. So now I see why this is called
no,
the
go ahead.
SNES. The SNES.
Yes.
That's tricky to say.
It is. It is. We just call him Corey now that we're his friend.
Is he a sensei at SNES?
He's better than I am at it, I would say. He's a real good chiptune composer that lives out in Michigan, kind of near where we do on the other side of Detroit, and he's done like composing for a bunch of like really good indie games and stuff, and I've kind of been his friend for a second because he works part-time at the one cool game store I like going to, so I would just see him there a lot, and it was like, I don't know, it was like I had to work up the nerve to ask him to do it because I felt like he was already like kind of more established in a lot of circles than we were, right? So he was super down, he's the nicest dude, he was super happy to do it, but it was like, I don't know, I felt like I was like asking him out, right? Like I was just really nervous going up to him about it.
Yeah, I mean it sounds cool. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I actually, when I play games and stream stuff on my own, I'll usually go to Game Chops, which is like it's like a Twitch radio channel that's streams 24/7. You know, like the studied music or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's from the record label for the guy that from DJ Cutman, who's like a pretty famous chiptune guy. But it's his label, and they just have it going 24/7.
As hell. That's awesome, actually. I had no idea.
And they've never copyright struck me for doing that while in gaming. So that's nice of them so far.
I wonder if they have some weird like provision for that, right? Like they have some weird fair use thing for that. I don't understand anything about like music takedown rights or anything, but I know I guess there's some ways if you're in charge of the label, there's ways to kind of like put in provisions for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think even beyond the label, it all kind of funnels down to the same channels, right? Like, so at a certain point, you're kind of screwed when it comes to distributors and stuff. Like, we have our own music on our YouTube channel, but we can't monetize it because it's put through distributors to Spotify and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, no, I was honest to God just about to bring that up. We came out with a music video for one of the songs on the EP a couple months ago, and not even I think like a month and a half ago at this point, and it's the same thing where like as soon as I uploaded it, I got the thing where it's like, hey, you're technically being copyright struck despite the fact this is your song and your YouTube channel because you already had to use CD Baby to get on the internet.
You gotta love
so that's
the future, man. It's great.
Yeah,
Problems
we're
that
deep in it no matter if we like
issues no one ever anticipated.
Yeah, no, if you would have gone back even like 10, 12 years ago and told me that would be a problem for me one day, I would have thought you sounded like a lunatic.
Yeah, really. I'm gonna try to see if I
You
can
need
connect you.
intellectual property right reform. What the fuck?
Yeah, somebody needs to tell Disney they need to quit doing this to us every 50 years.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot they keep blueballing
The,
legislation on
the
that, right?
yeah, like free what is it? Public domain, right? Where it's like, hey, yeah, we don't want Mickey becoming public domain, so every like 50 years we have to raise a stink about this to make sure we can profit off everything we've ever drawn forever.
You know, like it'll be like 1,000 years from now, and Disney World will be like the Great Pyramids, and like it'll still not be public domain. Like,
Right, right. This sounds like a Fallout quest
yeah,
where
they
like
won't
you
even
go
know.
underneath
Yeah.
Disney World and there's yeah, exactly. There's some like Disney family AI that just keeps like auto re-upping the trademark on like all the best Marvel characters.
All right, I picked Donkey Kong to start. Let's see.
Cool. Um, should I like what is your name? I think I still have to like find you. I'm on the online
Oh
play
shit. Yeah,
menu.
I'm adding yours right now. Mine.
Okay.
I gotta look at it quick. Why don't I just type it in the job
Okay.
here?
Discord, yeah.
Yeah. I got too lazy today at work, but I was gonna go and try to like update emojis and stuff for the or reacts for the Discord and shit. They also pushed like a new feature with Discord, I guess. I don't know if we have it on this
Okay.
one, but like I guess you can do threads now too in a thread on this. It's all very strange. You,
Oh, that's fun.
I saw someone basically purposefully implode a Discord server by making like hundreds of threads within a channel in the Discord server.
Just to see like how many it could support.
Yep.
Awesome.
They got to
That
like
sounds
900,
nightmarish.
and then like
Ooh.
everything started lagging out. It was pretty cursed. All right, let me see if I can. Oh the dude that was calling me out trying to get me to play against him, I had his name saved, and now I'm adding my own name. Let's see. If you're not familiar with this app, oh, I'm getting scatterbrained here, but I wanted to check out the.
No, yeah, no, please, you're okay.
No, so I wanted to check out the Friday I'm in Love cover you got on here. On your band.
Oh yeah, no,
It's older.
that was our drummer's idea. We because he's super into The Cure. He and his girlfriend are, and we realized that Valentine's Day in 2020, back when we still thought 2020 was going to be cool. We found out Valentine's Day was on Friday that year, and we didn't have anything kind of lined up to come out for a second, so we thought that might be fun. And what happened was we did like a big charity thing where I think it was like any copy we sold of that, because it's a cover, you know how weird that gets. Any copy we sold of that, we just donated it to like the Australia wildfire funds, and then like as soon as we donated all the, yeah, no, me too, right? I was just about to say, because as soon as we donated all of the money from it, everything shut down, and then that's when everybody started doing like benefits for like service workers and stuff. Yeah. So I think I put your name in correctly, and I think I'm searching for it.
I don't think I put yours in right.
Oh no, you're okay.
Let's try that again.
You want me to pop it back?
Oh, I got it right. It's 796.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe type it in again.
Me or you?
Got it.
Cool.
There we go. Searching for you now.
Hi. Okay. Yeah, I'm searching for Duke 970. We're cool. Okay, I'm getting a waiting on opponents.
There we go.
Hey, all right.
Classic matchup right here.
Yeah, I love it. Rivals from across the decades.
We also got some solid pings, so there's gonna be like a Matrix match.
Oh yeah. No, I remember early online games. I understand. I spent a lot of time with my dad playing like Quake 2 and 3 back in the day, and if it was running like this, I considered it a good day, right? This is like the late 90s, and I didn't know what the internet was supposed to be like.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, 45 seconds to load this forum post, not bad.
Hey, wow, I'm doing pretty good on this this new 56K modem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, forum post. God, I kind of miss forums. You ever notice how all that stuff's been replaced by just like Reddit and Facebook groups, sort of?
Yeah, I was talking
I
about.
still go on a couple of different forums.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there if you know where to look, but it's like it's kind of a shame it's not as like consistent as it used to be. I got a friend named Rob. He like writes books about video games as a side job, and he felt the same way as me, so he started this like little kind of secret private forum, and it looks exactly like somebody would have built one at like college in 1999, and it was perfect.
That's sick. Yeah, we definitely had like a forum circle amongst our friend group in high
Yeah, right.
school.
No.
Yes.
Like you don't see that as much anymore, but I feel like for like general hobbies, you can still find pretty good forum communities.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because it's always like it's always like the same people that have been on there since it opened. Like there's a ton of them for guitar stuff that I've been to, and 9 times out of 10, some guy's replying to my question about power tubes, and it's like, oh yeah, you registered for this site in 2003. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Like member for 18 years, you know.
Right. Yeah, they got some cute little like badge to show off for it because that was a thing we did for a while.
Right.
No, I was talking about this. Someone on Twitter, I think. Uh oh, fuck.
Hey, if we fall, we shall fall together.
But
Oh, when's the ska song coming out?
oh, we got a ska song on the. Oh damn.
No,
I didn't get the joke.
do y'all have a ska song coming out? Because I can't. I used to be in ska bands, but those days are far behind me anymore.
It's a
I don't
possibility.
know. We might
that
get.
consider.
It's a
Okay.
yeah, it's a possibility for sure.
You know what? I believe in you, and I'm sure it'll be sick.
We'll see. It'll be like a ska grindcore song. But no,
I'm just
I
saying
was-
that'll
Or
get
like
you
an
playing the day
RX
shift on
Bandits
Riot Fest.
ripoff.
Yeah, there you
Right?
go.
Yeah, it's got to be in like 5-6.
We get to open for the Misfits, but without Danzig if we do that.
Right. It's just Jerry and friends.
The Misfats. The cover band. Uh-oh. No, but I was thinking about how, because I found a bunch of show flyers yesterday when I was unpacking stuff in my office at home.
Right.
And, we used to use, Forum Circle, or, yeah, I think it was Forum Circle that we used for that specific thing, but
Okay.
we had a thing called Lehigh Valley Punk Rock Forum Circle.
Okay.
And like that was the primary avenue until Facebook finally beat it off. But well, beat it off. That's a weird use of words. But
No,
finally,
we're going for it.
Finally, snuffed it out. Let's say. But it was a slow burn. Like it took a while for the Facebook groups.
So you
and
even
events.
So did you even? And forgive me because I know there's a small bit of an age difference between us. But did you have this kind of even during like the MySpace days?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, because that's kind of impressive. Because at the point where I was in my one ska band that did anything, because I did two, and one of them was only together for like 6 months. But the one ska band I was in that did anything was like the peak of MySpace, right before Facebook kind of encroached on everything. And even at that point, I think the only way to really let people know shows were happening was through MySpace, right? Like you get someone to MS Paint together a couple pictures of Homestar Runner and then the address of the internet cafe you're playing at, and then just like hope everyone sees it in time to get their parents to drive them.
Wow.
Yeah,
13-year-old me feels so seen right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I weirdly archived a lot of that stuff.
That's awesome. That's good to see because, like, not to be an old person, but I think a lot of people don't think about that, right? Like, we've made some pretty funny flyers over the years, and just because, like, someone got a new computer or whatever, or, like, we just deleted the post, like, you're never going to see those again, right? It's, like, not like anyone's going to think to back them up or print them.
Walk directly into it.
No! No, don't punch me!
Damn it!
No!
But yeah, no, so we did actually manage to... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh!
No.
Oh, we did actually, if I remember correctly, we did... owned. We did make a lot of...
Very close. Well done.
And also, that was a really good cover. We did make a lot of, like, events in the forum circle for that area, and then at some point it all started to mirror into the social media stuff where everyone was double posting everything, and then eventually they're like, yeah, it's over. Let's just use like they
We-
tried to revive the
we
forums
yeah,
a couple
unfortunately
times.
we
Yeah.
all right.
And now we've made our bed.
Even at this point, like now, if you tried to bring it back, you just have to bring it back as like a Facebook group that remembers shows from that era that just posts the flyers, right? Like,
Yeah, I know Dylan mentioned to me, and I only had a chance to listen to like the first song off the most recent release. That's why I was curious about the chiptune thing.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
he mentioned to me, he's like, this stuff's probably really up your alley. And because I'm like, what do you call it? I think I like wordcore and pop, like old pop punk and punk rock stuff. But like,
Yeah.
I try not to be too much of a, what do you call it? Like a caricature of myself about it, but I do end up liking a lot of bands' first albums more than follow-up albums, you know? I'm like one of those guys.
You know what? I could see that, especially depending on the band, because kind of to speak to your point, I think there's so many bands in like punk circles, you know, quote unquote punk circles of really any stripe, where like no matter what they sound like or what they're trying to be, the first album is so vastly different just because they're still figuring it out, and I'm sure they're still pulling from a big different sphere of influence, you know?
Yeah, and
so
also
I
it's a lot of pent-up energy.
I think that's fair, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're a little younger, you're a little more excited about it. You're not as willing to spend the time in the studio to get the keyboards or anything on it, right? So, our drummer has a kind of a funny joke he makes about that, where kind of to speak to what you're saying, for a lot of punk bands, there's a point where like they really sort of branch off into something different enough from what they used to be that he refers to as the punk band buys a delay pedal phase.
Or I like the title fight goes shoegaze phase, you know?
Oh yeah, no, we all bought
the-
floral green. I get it.
Exactly. It only got worse from there in that regard, you know? Just, they leaned into it live.
You know what?
Now everybody's using that chorus effect.
Yeah. Even us.
As someone, yeah, no, I was just about to say there is absolutely chorus on the solo for that first song on the EP, Bill and Ted. So like, I can laugh, but only because I did it too, and I get it.
Yeah. And like, but like when it comes down to it for me, like, Last Thing You Forget is my personal favorite, to the point where I have, I managed to find a cool 7-inch at Repo Records in Philly. It's on a street called South Street. It's like a little hippie street, I guess. Used to be.
Yeah.
The song Punk Rock Girl mentions one of the stores on the street there.
Oh,
Zipperhead.
Dead Milkman, right? Yeah.
We
That's
went
awesome.
to Zipperhead, whatever. That's down the street from where I got this 7-inch. It's now
That's
called Crash
awesome.
Bang Boom or something like that, but nice.
Got me.
But the
Oh
7-inch,
no! Oh no!
it's like a full album release promo from Run for Cover for Last Thing You Forget. I mean, yeah.
That's probably kind of tight. Yeah.
It's a little 2 songs on one side and the second half of song 2 on the other side.
Squeeze it on there.
Probably one of their last DIY things they did, right? Like,
No.
pretty close to it.
That's
at
the
least.
thing we ran into, getting the lathes printed for this new EP, because we found a place in Brooklyn that we used to do a bunch of our tapes through, and they're really cool. They do good work, but like, we wanted to try to fit the remix on side B with the regular B side, and it was something goofy. It's like if the second song was like 30 seconds shorter, we could have fit both of them on there, but the time squeeze on lathe cuts is so bad that it's like you can't have over like 6 minutes per side or something goofy.
So what I would have done, personal, you know, my hot take
listening.
would be just double up the speed on the other songs, since the chiptune one is
There we go.
probably already too fast to do that. You know, I would think.
Oh well, you know what though? It still would that still would have shaved a lot of time off the regular B side. So I think and you know it's a lathe cut. Nobody's listening to this thing for quality anyway, right?
Yeah.
So suddenly I'm like So suddenly I'm like a YouTube video on 1.5. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's really gonna be that mad.
Hey, sometimes I go to our YouTube videos and I change the speed on the songs for ideas, you know? Like, we should have recorded
That's
this
awesome.
faster. I have...
And now this new EP is like, I don't think there's a song slower than 170 beats per minute.
Look at that.
Yeah, there are a couple 2-minute songs.
I'm complaining about it, not bragging.
No. I think that's impressive because like I'm exhausted just thinking about it. We kind of have that problem where we have to like remind ourselves to record stuff way slower because you know how it is playing live. It's like no matter what speed we want this song to be, if we're like 3 songs into the set list and we're all goofed up on like free beer and energy drinks, the song's gonna be like 80 BPM faster no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
So like that comes up for us a lot where like it took us a couple of takes to record the drums for both the songs on the EP just because we'd gotten so used to playing them way faster than we kind of decided the click track was supposed to be at.
Yeah, that's why we're making sure to like we have been demoing all of ours with like more care than we normally would put into demos, where like they're almost finished products themselves, and it's just like set to a click and a set tempo, so that like even if we do play some of these live before we get in the studio for re-recording the final versions, we'll still have like this recorded version to base it off of.
That's a great call, actually. Do you just have like a computer just recording everything the whole time or something? Or oh no,
we've been
okay.
Yeah, we've been using
basically just been like fleshing it out from like
and there I go.
Riffs.
No, that's awesome though. No, I only asked because I was reading an interview with I'm never sure whether to say just the letters or the whole word, but the guys in Pup. I was reading an interview with them a while back where apparently at whatever like rental space they have in Canada, they just have a laptop with Pro Tools running like the entire time, and they just kind of like pick and choose stuff from it after the fact if they're like trying to write or trying to like figure something out better, you know?
That's cool.
So like yeah, like one day when I have a nicer laptop, I'd like to steal that idea from them, but like I'm spending too much money on like guitar cramp in the meantime to remember to do this.
Our
guitarist,
guitarist,
our For Us Fest set.
Yeah, he the problem with that is he has like a MacBook. I don't know if it's the current gen MacBook Pro or not, but it might be just the MacBook replacement. But for whatever reason, it puts all the CPU pressure on the first core before any of the others. It doesn't distribute it equally enough with Pro Tools. He's been dicking around with this for a while to the point where he uninstalled the OS and reinstalled it, like, because it's like his it's his livelihood. So he's like really taking the tool seriously. I bought like a $900 gaming computer, and like it has 16 cores, I think, and 64 gigs of RAM, so I just like throw whatever I want at it. But you can't take it.
Then
like
it doesn't
laptop.
matter, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's not a laptop at the end of the day. But
no, like that's my problem. Like I'm on like my dad helped me build a pretty okay gaming computer last year around my birthday, and I'm using that right now, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't want to disassemble that and drive in an hour to our practice basement every week.
Exactly, yeah. But so in any case, he
nice
managed to...
the Peach band, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I like the little Pichu ribbon. I like that.
Yeah, I consider
I'm so sorry.
It's like the Rosa Luxemburg Pichu, in my opinion. But which means I'm gonna die pretty quickly. But too soon? No.
Fitting for a Pichu.
Yeah, for real. But no, so he managed to get it working, and he has his he's got a Trident, I think, or it's a Trident recording interface.
Yeah, those are sick, I hear.
Yeah, and he has it in like a rack that fits in like a messenger bag. It's got 3 rack slots.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he can basically just take, and he's got all his mic stands and mic stuff in like 2 other bags. So basically he can bring it wherever he needs it to be as long as his laptop's working. So we actually got like a pretty solid, I want to say like, probably like at least 9 or 10, maybe all 10 mics I think we used for our live set for the
we used 10 mics.
Yeah.
Boy, that's not bad at all though, considering like how much that sounds like it is to travel with.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a lot easier, and like he's been playing around with a lot of virtual reamping and stuff. But that reminds me of what you were asking before, is that when we build these songs out, we just make sure we have a click track that we can all use. And then our drummer has a Roland electronic kit.
Oh, yeah.
So he records it in both sound and MIDI. So then our guitarist, who is also an engineer, will take the MIDI files and resample them with our drummer's actual drums that he has each drum recorded. So
That's
it kind of
sick. That's a great idea, actually.
It still doesn't quite, in my opinion, capture the real soul of all of it, but it's like pretty hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna, but that's gonna be close enough that even if you're just like practicing along to it at home, that's gonna be way more helpful than usual, right?
Oh,
yeah.
And like for a couple of these compilations, we were able to record the covers and stuff that we did that way. And as far as I know, so far nobody's mentioned that they noticed, you know?
And for covers, it almost sort of doesn't matter as much, right?
Yeah,
like,
you want it to sound like that anyway, right?
So long as it's intelligible enough for people to know, like, oh, cool, this is the sweetness, right? Then, like, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what they're doing in the studio anyway, whether we would or not, you know? They're sampling all their drums with triggers and stuff.
Yeah, right. The guy that records us is a guy from around here named Tom. He was in a really good, going back to it, he was in a really good ska band that's kind of been on hiatus for a little bit, but he's a fantastic, like, producer and engineer. He does the same thing where, like, around the time he did our first full length back in 2019, he got really into, like, I forget what the term for it is, but it's kind of like what you're talking about, where he just, like, doubles all the drums with additional, like, MIDI hits and then just mixes them way down. Just kind of, like, fill it out and make it a little easier to eat. And, like,
it gives it more...
After he explained that to me, I could really hear a difference, and I was, like, pretty...
It's true, too, because, like, our guitarist, Vince, it's funny, weird little story, but we both went to school in Philly after going to the same community college in Valley, PA, to study, like, media production and stuff.
Right.
And, he did 2 years, I did 1 in community college. I go and... Hi, Kitchen. My friend Chris Kitchen just popped in to say hi.
Hi, Kitchen.
His name's actually Chris Kitchen. It's a very cool name.
That's good. That's a good last name.
Yeah. We got Bathroom of the Future here and Chris Kitchen of the past, he said. Kitchen of the past.
We almost got an entire damn house.
Yeah. Our house is in the middle of this Twitch stream.
The street.
Yeah. In the middle of this
Our house
stream.
in the middle of this stream.
Yeah, there you go. That's a keeper, for sure.
We did it. Good bits, everybody.
Yeah, this has been a very pun-heavy episode, which I'm personally thrilled about. But yeah, so we ended up going separate paths and not being in a band together. Right. And then I come back from like a study abroad program to find out that my childhood friend, who also decided on the same college track as me, basically, was in my music theory class sitting next to me by chance.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was wild. It was like very serendipitous, you know. We had not I didn't even know he was at Temple, you know. I had no idea he was going to go to the same university as me after community college.
Where did you study abroad, if you don't mind my asking?
I went to London, England for like a semester. Like Jude
How was that?
And a semester, you know, just like the canceled Brand New song. Hope there's ice on all the roads. Is that song? I forget if that's the song. But that one's, in retrospect, kind of telling of that guy. But no. Anyway.
Yeah.
Get him. Yeah. Oh.
No.
I'm bringing the thunder.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh sh. The button. You got button cut. Oh, wait. This is not Chris Kitchen. This is Tim's fan/friend Mike. I actually have a friend named Kitchen, so when you said it's Kitchen of the past, your friend Tim is Kitchen of the past. And your friend Mike. No, wait. Tim's friend Mike is the kitchen of the past.
Oh.
That's what I was looking for. So,
Oh,
hi, Mike.
sorry, Mike. I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Mike's good. Mike's good people. Oh, what am I doing? I know.
But it is funny that it confused me because I have a friend who is actually named Kitchen. So, what a world.
It's a good last name.
Yeah.
No, it is a good last name. I like when people's names are just like things, right? Like I kind of respect that because like there's a lot of names where it's just names. Like no one's gonna say, oh, I have to go to the Dave. You know.
Like Fiona Apple, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's...
Folds for. We've all seen that bumper sticker.
Yeah. That's a. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there with that one. I got no good material on. In the bedroom of the president, Dylan's right about that too. Let's see. I think that was my first dub. I think.
What?
So that was my first victory. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you win
I
the
think so.
Okay. Well,
I'm going
good.
heavy,
Congrats.
boys.
Good game. Let's
see.
Yeah, no,
what else
let's
we
keep the streak going.
got. How about? Yeah, I want to use this guy, but I'm afraid I'll try it anyway.
Yeah, this is dredging up a lot of memories for me because I've
Oh,
not
yeah.
spent a ton of time with Melee in years.
It is kind of like, barring whatever lag spikes we're getting right now, when you don't have lag spikes, it's pretty snappy.
Oh yeah, no, like I was screwing around with Dolphin earlier this summer to replay the third Time Splitters.
Oh shit.
And I was really
Is that
impressed with just
feature
how well
perfect?
everything ran.
Right?
Yeah, that So remember
The
that game
vehicles?
came out like right around the time I graduated high school when I was working at a GameStop back in my hometown, and I remember being so stoked for a new Time Splitters that I bought it. Like it was the first thing I was doing, like right after I got home from my last day of high school.
That's wild. Because I was playing that in
Yeah, it
my
was-
high school. I think I played a lot of that when I had to go to summer school for failing English class,
Oh yeah.
which
No, I went to summer school
Yeah.
for math. I get it.
in
Math and science, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
those are actually hard
Ah.
subjects, though. You know, failing
You know
English
what,
reminds me that there was like it was like a one-off study, but it found that in their results, the average American has a fluency of 0.5 languages, which when I
Half a
failed.
language.
Yeah, when I failed English class, it kind of makes me think. You
Oh,
know,
what? You
maybe
know what?
there's some
I
truth
know
to
it's a little
that.
cliche, but like,
Statistic, Alex.
school's not for everybody, right? Like, science is one of those things I'd love to be like casually interested in, but if like the teacher's making me remember like parts
Oh.
of the cell, then like it's not happening for me. Man, I'm getting housed on this one.
Yeah, there you go. I had a teacher that
Can't handle the dwarf.
nobody can. Oh boy,
Nobody beats the biz.
I had a literal elementary biology teacher in community college,
Uh-huh.
and he told such a bad joke that I'll always remember at least one science fact because of it,
Okay.
which is in the part of the leaf in a plant that has the hole that absorbs water when it hits the leaves. It's like a little
Okay.
hole that takes the water in, you know?
Right.
It's called the sore eye,
Okay.
and the teacher just went, "Sore eye, I'll give you a sore eye if you don't study for this quiz." And I've never forgotten that particular scientific term.
I think that's just. I honestly think that just means they were doing a fantastic job teaching, though, right? Because I feel like I'm looking from the outside. I have some friends who are teachers, and it does sound like an uphill battle in a number of ways. But I feel like part of a teacher's job is to at least make the material interesting enough to be like retainable. So if that's how he had to do it through like grandpa puns, then like so be it, right? You still know what that is.
Well, yeah, you're an adjunct professor at a community college across the street from a cow farm. Like, you gotta find
But have
something
some
to
fun
do.
with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh man, I have no recovery with this guy. It's all the pills in his coat. It's weighing me down.
It's ruining his reaction time. Oh boy.
That's true. Doc, we gotta talk, man.
Farmers' pockets are too lined.
Oh shit. Almost.
Man, I forgot all that Tron stuff on the underside of this level.
Oh yeah. We so you worked at GameStop, so I'm gonna guess that you know what an action replay is.
Oh boy, I
Now we're
did.
getting
I've
to the
owned a
good
number of them.
stuff.
Actually, I have. Right. This is the point of this interview.
Yeah.
No, I have to actually buy another one for the N64 so I can play Japanese N64 games on it.
Oh snap!
Because that's how you do it. If you have an action replay, it works as a pass-through for most Japanese N64 games. You can just plug them right in.
I had no clue. That's kind of sick, actually.
I just learned it recently too. I'm not gonna try to flex like I'm an expert.
Well, we used to play.
But no, please continue with your story.
Yeah, we used to play Melee with the action replay, and some
Oh boy.
some of the things you can do is like unlimited jumps,
Okay.
which quickly turns this game into Budokai.
Oh.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Just,
No,
the
it's just
Super
DBZ
Saiyan,
fighters
yeah,
at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And I remember one time we, like they were like, I don't know how the action replay actually works exactly, other than it's like code injecting or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I guess there would be like some sort, yeah, it's like a Game Genie kind of, but there would be like some sort of codes that weren't fully tested and stuff that you could get. And one of them was called Big Blue Ultimate Rush.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Black Hole Glitch, that's it there too. God. But
Black Hole Glitch, I remember doing that one on my Motorola Razr. That was pretty
boy.
cool.
Ooh.
Extremely cursed nostalgia. Possibly the most cursed. But the Ultimate Rush was just
my mom and sister used to have like matching razors back in the day, and I always thought that was hilarious.
mashing.
I
With
don't
like
know-
little
I
charms.
don't know why the hell I never had one. I don't think, but yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah, exactly. They're the same like kind of Easter pink color.
Bedazzled just the same way.
Right, right. Mother and daughter written on the back.
But the action replay code essentially turned Big Blue into an infinite loop. Just a constantly,
Oh, no.
like a loop going completely upside down and back. And
I've had nightmares like that.
yeah, so the idea was that you'd have infinite jumps, and the stage was just a forever loop of cars going around like a loop-de-loop. So if you hit the outside of the stage, you'd get hit by the cars going in a circle, basically.
That's hilarious. Like, did this make it run any worse? I feel like
Oh,
this
definitely.
is real taxing on a game. Yeah.
Eventually, if matches went too long, this is what I mean by like not fully tested codes for the action replay. Like, if the match went too
But
long,
those are the fun ones.
yeah, definitely. It would all the other elements would just slowly start to like kind of disappear. I don't even want to say despawn, just like break and disappear.
Things just wouldn't be there anymore,
Yeah.
right?
So eventually,
You're taking up enough memory with
Yeah.
everyone floating around Big Blue.
eventually it would just become a black void that you're just fighting in space with nothing around you.
That's hilarious.
Which also was
No!
kind of like the black hole glitch, which my friend brought up. Which, are you familiar with the black hole glitch?
I am not, and I'm very curious now. After these war
Yeah.
stories you've told me.
I don't know that we can get it in this particular version of Smash.
Like it won't work on Slippy or whatever?
Yeah, because I don't even think Slippy lets you play with items if you want to. That's like part of the.
I was wondering
competitive
about
nature.
that. I noticed it skipped that part, yeah.
I think there's like no music, like all to reduce lag essentially.
Yeah, no, this has to be making it run way better.
But the black hole glitch, if I remember correctly, had something to do with Peach's radish.
Okay.
Super scope.
And, oh yeah, the super scope.
Okay.
So basically, it would just. I think it had something to do with like infinite hitbox recognition, where the radish's hitbox would get triggered in such a way that it would be like able to be hit again quickly, and then I guess the super scope or I think it was a charged super scope or something, but in any case, it was basically just infinitely reacting to itself, like kind of, you can almost think of it as like a fusion reaction.
Right,
Where the
like
energy
it
is
was
offsetting
just
itself.
triggering this hit
Yeah.
over and over again.
Yep. And that would eventually create like a giant spinning black hole of instant damage in the middle of the stage that would instantly KO people. And you usually have
like
items
it's just
on.
spinning too fast and it gives you too much inertia or whatever.
Basically,
Yeah,
it was
so
just
you
like
basically
explosions.
have to,
Oh wow.
there's a way to do like input with the super scope item to get unlimited ammo. You have to do like 5 sets of 3 bullets and then like 3 fully charged shots or something like that. And then once you have the infinite ammo, you have to have like a Fox and a Falco using their reflectors.
Oh, that's it.
Right.
And then Peach jumps in between those 2 characters with their reflectors to get damaged by them. And then throws a shitload of turnips up into the same hitbox that it got activated by her getting hit in the first place. And then it just kind of keeps adding to like this blue sphere of light that grows and grows. And then you can keep firing your super scope into that growing mass of just damage that is amassing but has nowhere to go in terms of like an escape velocity.
Right.
And so it just keeps growing in the center of the screen, and eventually, like your GameCube or your Wii will just not be able to process all of it and will freeze and end the game.
That's insane. You know what I think my favorite part about this is that someone found out how to do this.
So I think
it was only like 3 years after the game came out. Too.
Right. Yeah. No, this definitely sounds like some like, hey, this is the only Smash Brothers we have out right now. Let's squeeze every drop of fun we can out of it, kind of thing.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and just pull up a clip of it, see if I can find it. I think I found a good one. That's Brawl, which is also very funny that it stuck around through Brawl.
And that's kind of impressive because I remember, I don't know, I feel like everyone was really grumpy about Brawl for a while. You know, like I know it's like, oh, it's too slow and I hate how you trip.
Yeah, I mean the tripping. I became really, really good at Project M, which was like you had to have a hacked Wii, and you could play.
I do remember that.
You had a melee physics engine over top, like a pseudo melee physics engine over top of Brawl, which removed tripping most importantly. So, but all right, so I'll go ahead and just
hearing about that. Are you just putting it up in the Twitch or?
I'm gonna drop it. It's in Twitch, but I'm also gonna drop it in there. You know what?
Okay, tight.
Now that I think about it, here you go. I can do it this way in the Discord too. There you go. So if you just click on the Discord lobby tab, there you go. Let's see this. Oh, he's getting the infinite gun now. I mean, this is just, I think, the actual... Oh, we got, 240 is our max resolution on this.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. This was uploaded in 2006.
I was in 9th grade.
YouTube was like 1 year old.
I had graduated from high school the year prior and was still working at that GameStop. Actually, this is long enough ago that I think we were still called EB Games.
EB. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the changeover would happen until like 07 or 08 at my store.
That's where I got my Game Boy Color.
Hell yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Okay.
Oh, because what it does is it makes the reflecting balls hit each other.
Right, okay.
And I guess you had to be on the same teams as each other for the guy shooting through the other guy.
Oh, that makes sense, because there can't be friendly fire, or it's just going to be the one fox holding it, yeah.
Oh boy. While we're here, add a
yeah, thank you. 176 dislikes. Who are these people?
It's already.
Look at that frame rate. There it is.
Oh boy. This is the perfect time for me to grab another beer.
Hey, good call.
It's right next to me anyway, but...
That's grabbing. You're grabbing it. I like the haunting, like, specter of the radishes just hanging out.
I think that's a big part of it. I forget what exactly happens with that, though. Oh, there you go.
Just shoots straight to triple
yeah,
digits.
if you touch
Good
it.
Lord.
Wow. That sounds awesome. I want to sample that for like
weird,
something.
That should be like drum hits at the beginning of something.
Oh my god. It's really not even that hard to do, too. It just took a...
No, it's really not. And it's weird how it's lingered. Like, I'm surprised, like, something hasn't happened to it to make it go away. Like, it's just this thing in the level now.
Yeah, I mean, so they wisely stopped adding things to the pile. But
Right.
if you keep adding shit to it, I think you can also add other items to it.
And that's when stuff starts breaking, I imagine.
Yeah, you can absolutely... I know for a fact that we managed to crash the GameCube with that.
Yeah, I just kept adding Samus charge shots to
That'll...
it, and that like almost broke my Wii. I'm convinced.
It overclocked his Wii to death. She can't take it, Captain!
Hold your Wii for a Wii.
Oh,
Look at that. It looks like if the Thing from John Carpenter's The Thing had gotten into a radish.
Sometimes I wonder if Sakurai... Yeah. I'm all better. I'd like to come back in. Sometimes I wonder if Sakurai added the black hole item to the newer versions of Smash because of this.
You know, I feel like Nintendo has always been just aware enough of like the weirder side of the Smash fandom that if that turned out to be the case, I would absolutely believe that. Look at this! What is happening?
Holy guacamole. Alright, well there you go. There's your black hole.
Oh, that delights me.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
By the way, I really do like this. I mean, I know this is an earlier release, but...
Yeah, no, it was our first... So far, it's our only full-length, because we're real into EPs, I guess. But, like, no, I really appreciate that. This one, I mentioned him earlier, but this is the first thing we recorded with our friend Tom. A guy named Tom Skill. He runs a recording studio out this way called Cow House. He does, like, podcasts and, like, live stream stuff out of it sometimes, but he's a fantastic, like, engineer and producer for a lot of stuff. We were really stoked to work with him.
My friend said, I think both me and Dylan were at his house when we crashed his GameCube doing that. Where's, What were you saying? Sorry, I missed.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I love when, like, everyone had enough spare time to, like, make games like that a thing, right? Like, we used to do kind of a similar thing in Perfect Dark when I was a little younger, where we'd see how many, like, AI bots we could turn on and give everybody the exact same gun until the N64 just, like, gave up, you know?
Oh, man.
That's sick, because, like, that game ran at, like, 15 frames per second, like, on a good set.
Yeah, like, with the RAM expansion pack, you were getting a steady 17 to 20 out of Perfect Dark, and then suddenly you're playing with everybody you know, and then you just keep throwing, what we would do is we would pick one body type for all the AI bots and just swap out the heads on them, right? So it's suddenly a bunch of, like, grown men with, like, alien heads rushing at him.
since this is easier than just putting the stream in,
Yes.
I'll just throw this up there quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and open Melee back up, but check out these cool, I forgot I had these in my OBS save scenes.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a nice little flourish, if you will. I got these
No, I like it.
extremely cursed dancing baby gifts. We
Yeah,
did.
That,
Yeah, we
No,
did.
go ahead.
We did. Like I want to say like I think it was it must have been one of the debates, like the Trump-Biden debates. We did like a watch party for it, and this was the general background for that. The rioting in DC and stuff with the dancing baby. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this horrible dancing baby gift.
and, going back to what we were saying about the N64 a second ago, imagine the processing power it would have taken back in the day to render that baby. And now look, we're just taking him for granted. We're just throwing it all around.
Yeah, I mean, it's already. I love that it has like
Is
that.
this baby a joke to you?
It's got the graphical tearing already on there, you know.
Yeah, no, that's how you know it's using up your entire processor.
Oh man.
That-
When you
it's
win
great.
solitaire on Windows 95, and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
drag the bouncing deck all over your screen.
Around, right.
Crashes.
You know, if we took two of those babies and then we put them in like the background of like a Trapper Keeper or a Lisa Frank poster, that would kind of just look like anything they show on the screens at the bowling alley.
You know, it'd be
pretty
sick.
much.
I want to do like a Booze Radly T-shirt with this on it. See if I can find it quick. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll throw it in the Discord, John. I'm trying to remember which one it was. What the hell is that guy's name? There we go. I want to get like a. I think I just opened this back up. Get this guy on a really bad version of that dragon from Neopets as like
Oh my goodness, yes.
like a bootleg Times Square off license T-shirt. I think that'd be
You
pretty
know,
sick.
When I was a kid, I definitely had like a bootleg flea market airbrushed Pikachu shirt that I believe spelled his name wrong, and it was like the first Pikachu shirt I ever found. So I was just so excited to have like Pokemon wearables. So I feel like this is a good plan for you guys. I would absolutely buy the Booze Radley walks up to the giant omelet shirt.
Aren't we all just abandoned Neopets?
A giant, like a giant 40 instead, like same scene but a 40 instead of an omelet. We did think we kicked around some like. None of us are huge sports heads, but
Yeah.
we kicked it. Well, what are you guys? The Lions out there in Michigan, right?
We regrettably, yes.
Yeah.
I know just enough about sports to know that I should be ashamed of this.
What is that fucking thing called? I thought this on a Eagles jersey like would be pretty funny. Just have my mugshot with the like Eagles on the, but like have it like a low threshold kind of graphic.
right, yeah, like real zoomed in. It's like
Yeah.
a very
Because that
small
looks pretty
resolution JPEG.
emo as it is, right? Like, I was pretty sad.
Yeah, honestly, if that was like kind of tinted in black and white, and you were like in front of like a street in the suburbs, and that would have been like an album cover from.
It's like a Smiths album, right? I was looking for a Super Bowl win and I got one. Do you guys have any physical merch at the moment?
Any what? Sorry.
Physical merch?
We do. It's kind of informal right now because we frankly just haven't got around to setting up the Bandcamp store. But like, just straight up, if you hit us up on any of like our social medias, we can get something in the mail to you. We did CDs and limited lathe cut of the new EP We still have some CDs of the full length left, and then we have a very small amount of like shirts and stickers, and we have some other stuff we're kind of working on. There's a there's a guy that does really cool like Gundam and Robotech fan art that we're trying to work with to get something out, and I know Sean's got a couple different like shirt and sticker designs that he's working on. He's our bass player. Today's his birthday, by the way. I know he's not watching this.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. He's either at work or he's getting ready to go to the gathering of the Juggalos. But happy birthday, Sean. But that's not a joke. Oh yeah.
You're in Michigan, we're group, right?
Yeah. No, you just meet these people, right? Like honestly, I worked at Hot Topic for a summer, and I met a ton of super nice Juggalos. So, like I got no bad things to say about it, right? But
and in the Midwest.
Yeah. But no. So he does the vast majority of our merch designs, just because at the point where he and I kind of started the band together, he'd already been like painting and doing like woodcuts and stuff for years. So we were just like, listen, it's cheaper to just have the guy that's in the band do all of our drawings. I trust him enough to do good ones.
Hey, if we ever get the chance to play the Gathering, I would do it in a heartbeat, man.
Oh my goodness, yeah. No, there's this band we're kind of friends with called the Cybertronic Spree, and they have played the Gathering in the past. They had nothing but good things to say about the experience. So like, listen, if they'll accept them, then I'm down as heck to pick this up.
Death to trendy anarchism, up with like supremely trashy anarchism, right?
Right, but like in like a way that helps people, right? Because like they've been on the right side of a lot of things, surprisingly enough, considering it's ICP.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, can't disagree there because they were like, I mean, they made the one time that the liberal establishment gave them like any credit whatsoever was when they like stood up to like Trump supporters, which like that's
oh god, yeah, no,
that's when you become strange bedfellows, right? But
yeah. What was that Lord of the Rings meme? I never thought I'd die fighting side by side with a Juggalo, and it's got Legolas and like the cool clown theme. Yeah. No, like they had songs about getting mad at the Confederate flag back when I was too young to like know what it was or why anyone would be mad about it. So like that's cool.
But that's a good.
All right, so I guess.
You're good. Sorry, I'm more curious on what you're saying.
Please.
No, I'm more curious on what you have to say.
I have one more. Okay, so I guess this is the time I'm going to tell it because I need to sort of have an ICP story. So, a little on the older side. I don't know if anybody in Who's Radly cares about wrestling.
Oh
I'm
my
pretty
god,
regressive,
Dylan is obsessed.
Yeah. This is good news. So, I'm pretty into current wrestling. Sean kind of dips in when he can. Our drummer James was super into it when he was younger, so he was there for kind of like the mid 2000s, like Jeff Hardy Edge period, right? Which is pretty cool.
All right.
So, I'm middle of the group in ages, but I was old enough that when WCW was around back in the day, that was a big thing for me. And they did like, I don't even remember if it was like officially WCW sponsored or if there was like a house show in my hometown at like the little tiny hockey arena where they sent a bunch of WCW wrestlers, but there was a ton of like official like NWO merch and all this cool stuff. And I was in heaven. I was like 12, and I rode with a friend of mine who I haven't seen in forever. Him and his cool aunt. One of the guys wrestling there was a Shaggy 2 Dope from ICP because the two of them were wrestlers for a second.
Yeah,
I watched him.
That.
Yeah,
they were definitely
so I watched him...
some wrestling like extra cheat code characters in some wrestling video games.
yeah, exactly. There's some N64 game where if you try hard enough, suddenly I'm both guys in the ICP fighting Goldberg, and it's totally sick. But
I think this is where maybe we went off the rails as a country, right? Like when the working class lost its like true rebellious outlets in the mainstream because they became too gauche for like elitist city liberals and stuff, you know. Now their pent up rage has resulted in some kind of insane feedback loop.
You know what? I am not smart enough to be able to disagree with that. I do wonder if Stone Cold Steve Austin was still on our TVs every Monday night. I really wonder if a lot of people would be a lot more chill about stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
America would at least be a slightly better place.
Yeah, it's ever going to be
on our TVs every week.
Yeah, exactly. It's ever going to be fantastic. But if this was still the days where like South Park and like WWF Raw were the most like terrible things you could see on TV that night, then maybe you're onto something, you know?
Well, I mean, think of it that way too, right? It's like an expression of like violence with no cost, you know, like, or low cost.
Right? No, like not. I guess not to get too philosophical about it, but I actually wrote, and I'm dredging up memories from like 2012 now, but I actually wrote a paper about something kind of similar to this in college. There was this book written by a comic book author whose name's escaped me called Chasing Monsters that did a bunch of studies about kind of speaking to your point about how like if like proper exposure to violent media and kind of putting it in its context actually tends to have like a positive effect on like people's like aggressions and like violent reactions. Like there were some studies done where I forget where it was, but it was some like super violent neighborhood, I want to say in like Ireland or something, and apparently the town got enough money together to put up a rec center with like a bunch of network computers that were playing Quake 3 back in the 90s, and apparently as soon as that went up, like teen crimes just dropped like because they finally had like somewhere to go and something to do. And it was like, hey, yeah, they're pretending to blow each other up with rocket launchers, but these kids were going to jail for like actual terrible things in the real world. So if this is like the worst they're getting up to on a school night, then cool, everyone's technically benefiting now, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, you don't have to sell me on that concept, because my parents had a, at times, perhaps too laissez-faire approach to media censorship as a child. You know? But one thing I was thinking
Sam,
about... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I had to cut off
please,
the delay and everything. The one thing I just quick wanted to throw out there that made me think about it was I think my cycle of understanding professional wrestling, since we're on the subject, might as well throw this out there, because I don't think I've ever spoken about my feelings about wrestling, really.
No.
Although it's
Please, now is the time.
Yeah, it's a big thing, right? I had, like, you know, the wrestling ring and all the action figure wrestlers with the little metal thing on the feet that would, like, activate their entry songs and the whole nine yards.
Yes.
I was really into wrestling as a kid. And I kick myself because, I don't know, some days I think about how I may have, like, sort of pseudo-disassociated between, I don't know, like 7th grade and end of junior year of high school. Like, I think there's just like a period there that I was just like trying to go through the motions. But I had a sick, in like 6th grade, I had a sick Stone Cold Steve Austin as the Terminator blacklight airbrush t-shirt that I got at the mall from one of those kiosks, you know.
Good Lord.
And I was like, man, I would kill to have that again. But my point, I guess, is it, you know, there's just a thought that popped in my head, but it kind of follows the same trajectory as emo music does for me, because the chase of authenticity, I think, like, as you mature, you move past that feeling where authenticity is more important than, like, theatrics, right? Like, because if you only care about authenticity into your 30s and 40s and 50s, you're gonna get bored, like, because authentic real life ends up repeating itself, right? And like,
there's only so much of it out there.
And when I was like a kid, when I like started to realize that wrestling was kind of staged, I think that turned me off of it in the same way that, like, when Green Day and Blink-182 became less punk, pissed me off. It was like a similar time. And then years later, starting to revisit some of those thoughts I had when I was younger, and realizing that I was just not mature enough to appreciate the effort behind it, you know? And in that sense, like, wrestling almost comes across as like Shakespearean compared to some things out there, you know?
You know, that is a fantastic way to look at that, right? Because I think it's kind of human nature to just sort of like, rightly or wrongly, feel like you've outgrown some stuff, right? And I think that's a really articulate way of kind of looking at that phenomenon, because then not only can you go back and say, hey, wow, I used to really like wrestling, maybe I should try liking wrestling again. You can actually sort of like put a name to what you're getting from it and why you're enjoying yourself, right? So like, I think, because I've been kind of going through that myself lately, right? Like, to kind of speak to your point about like growing out of certain kinds of music. When I was in 8th grade, a dude that I was super good friends with that used to get me into like cool bands that I didn't know about gave me a burned copy of the Blue album. And so like, this was right before Green came out, so there was like a 2-year period where the 3 at the time Weezer albums were the only thing I ever listened to. And then, you know, people go into and out of their Weezer phase, right? But like, the older I get, the more I realize that like, even if it's not specifically Weezer themselves, there's like so much music and so many things I've gotten into that like I probably wouldn't have cared about had I not found out about the Blue album at exactly the minute I found out about the Blue album. So I can't really go back and be too cool about Weezer because hey, you know what? They have more good albums than people give them credit for. I'll die on that hill, right? Not all of them, but many. And then B,
I like some of the
even modern stuff.
Worst Weezer out there is some of my favorites, so I know, you know.
And you know what? You know what the problem is that everybody's worst Weezer is somebody else's not worst Weezer, right? Like it took me so long to meet somebody else that admitted that Hurley actually wasn't that bad.
Oh man, I mean, I think
I really like the song "Memories."
Hurley's okay. Yeah, that's a fine song. Hurley's okay.
I mean,
I was like stoned as fuck in the theater watching Jackass 3, and when that played at the credits, I was like, all right, this is getting me a little bit.
Yeah, no, exactly, because it's like, listen, these are the Jackass homies. Even at this point, they're kind of already too old to be doing this. This is, what, 2010? Yeah. You know?
I got flamed for saying I like the Black album, so I left that one. That one was one that I was willing to give up on, you know? But I will say that the song Pork and Beans was the first one that got me to like, and like at this point I had already known about like, was it Blast Off or whatever, his like unreleased album, and
yeah, songs from the Black Hole. Yeah,
that's it. And like all the other, like I had known enough about Weezer, but I was never a huge Weezer fan. I knew like Buddy Holly and all that stuff. But then I guess that one song at the right time just caught me and got me back into listening to Weezer and like evaluating why I was listening to it, you know? Even though it's like a corny pop song, you know?
I had kind of mixed feelings about that song in hindsight, just because, kind of like you were saying, I super liked that song after a few years in the middle, or I wasn't down, because like, I remember being super disappointed by Make Believe, and I remember kind of just not being too into Weezer for a second after that. I remember thinking Pork and Beans was a great song, and then I picked up the Red album, and I remember just not liking almost any of the rest of it. So
well,
like, anytime I hear Pork and Beans, I'm like, God, this is great. What happened?
I couldn't like. I feel like I gave up on trying to form an opinion on Weezer. Like when I was in my college years, I was just like, I don't know, man. Like some Weezer's good, some Weezer's bad, and it depends on who you ask. And I'm not gonna argue about any of it. And then the White Album came out in like 2015. And I was like, this is my album of the summer. Like this shit.
Yeah,
rocks.
you're really into that.
White Album is fantastic. I'm with you on this one. Absolutely.
My girlfriend hated the White Album when I put it on, and I was trying to like frame it in a similar way because Dylan pitched it to me almost like as if like you know, like I think he said something to the effect of like a Sgt. Pepper Weezer album, and I was like, when you put it that way, that almost kind of makes sense, you know, like.
You know what? That's not unfair. Yeah. Actually.
I mean, obviously, he's not
like
the Beatles, but.
Well, don't tell him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks he is with that Revolver album that came out.
Forgot about that.
I do like hearing what Weezer albums people that don't like Weezer super gravitate to, because my girlfriend didn't know a ton about Weezer until we got together, and you know, knowing me long enough, you're gonna find out about Weezer one way or another. And so now it turns out she's super into the White Album, Pinkerton, and Van Weezer, just because those are the ones she hears in my car a lot. So now, like, to her, Van Weezer is what Weezer's supposed to sound like, and I think that album's good. I like Van Weezer.
You know what? Let's get the Van Weezer hot takes out here.
Orchestrated Weezer, and then I was hopeful for Van Weezer, but like, he really needed to give me some grit in his voice if he's gonna go, or like actually wail. But he just sang like he does on every other album. And I was really disappointed.
Right? Like, it's weenie guys that are super into metal. All right, like it would be
like if you're gonna finally make like a tribute to the metal that you've like have obviously been influenced by your whole career, like they were framing it in the run up to it, like they were actually gonna fully commit to like their metal tendencies.
Right.
Like I was expecting.
And then he's just Rivers.
I was expecting like when Sum 41 went like full metal.
See, I feel like what you got out of that is basically the same kind of thing that you get out of like They Might Be Giants. Like it's the same. It could even be the same exact songs, but it's gonna still sound like they might be giants. Like, you know, like
Well, I mean, like-
if they were gonna cover a metal album, it would be like, you know, it'd be like I don't know, off to Never Neverland. Like it'd still be like, it'd still be like
No, exactly. Like
the
the dude from Mountain Goats is super into like scary black metal, and if he ever tried to do scary black metal, he's still gonna sing like the guy from the Mountain Goats,
Yeah.
and there's nothing he can do about it.
The thing with Van Weezer for me that's such a weird, like I may have listened to it once, but the thing that's always gonna just stick with me about that moment in their career, I guess, is that like for whatever reason the timing of it coincided with like us like dusting off of our equipment and like figuring out what to do post pandemic before the time came, you know?
Right.
And like also at the same time like deciding like, okay, well if we're gonna, you know, jump back out there, we gotta get back into our social media stuff because we were like active on our page on Facebook and stuff, which may have been one of the worst handled platforms for a band since the creation of the internet, in my opinion. Like Facebook's fan pages and stuff.
No, they're not good. They're not good
No.
unless we're paying.
But so then we're like, okay, well let's get real into the IG and real into Twitter and just see where it goes from there. So then, at the same time as Van Weezer was like a meme of its own, we were getting real into these like this next generation of like DIY emo, specifically Philly based, but like further out as well. And like I don't know, for whatever reason, those two thoughts are definitely gonna be somewhat like unharmoniously linked in my memory probably for the rest of my
I think
time.
this is a very long-winded way of Alex saying that he thinks Van Weezer is fifth wave emo.
Yeah, no, they should have played Van Weezer top to bottom at DIY Super Bowl on it.
Well, people keep saying that the whole point about fifth wave emos it was like some fucking extremely shithead like Pitchfork article or something, or AV Club. It was like the next generation of pop punk. There are no rules, and it's just like, man, like, is that gonna be on like an end cap in an aisle at Target or something? Like, why even bother saying that out loud? Like,
One day I'm going to be able to go to the Target vinyl section, and behind their 12
God.
copies of the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, I can buy a repress of Nakamura's Just Married,
oh.
and I'm just gonna have to go home and think, you know.
The funny, I don't even know what to say. Fucking,
Oh no, I've ruined the stream.
I just want to check this before I make myself look like an asshole here. Let's see. Oh man,
What are
Glockamora.
you gonna look up at Target carries?
Oh wait, I was.
Oh yeah,
Of
Glockamora.
the two 2021 Weezer albums, definitely OK Human fan over a Van Weezer fan. That's
You
just
know,
me though.
I listened to OK Human once driving to a drive-in theater to see Godzilla vs. Kong earlier this year, and I remember super liking it, but I never really went back to it. Whereas for some reason I listened to Van Weezer a ton. So I think right now I would put Van Weezer ahead just because I'm more familiar with it. But like one day while I'm working or something, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna make myself pay a little better attention to OK Human, and I'm probably gonna love it. I remember hearing a lot of stuff on it that I super like, and I like them both a ton. I think I've just, for whatever reason, Van Weezer is the one that's like, hey, I'm in the car for 20 minutes. I should hear some new Weezer, and that's the one I go with for whatever reason.
I think OK
I
Human
think
is.
this says a lot about my thought process, though.
You know what OK Human reminds me of? This is like a weird, like, my brain. Not that anyone else doesn't have this problem, but I have found that
No,
a
hit me.
lot of the connections that I make between things tend to, like, my brain's constantly trying to connect one thing to another thing, and a lot of times
same,
it does. Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't really like work out for other people. But when I think of OK Human, I think of the Belle and Sebastian Girls in Peacetime album,
Okay, yeah.
which is like that was like their first album, like trying to take the Belle and Sebastian thing to another, like their authentic Belle and Sebastian stuff, trying to move it into like a new vibe, you know, like trying to
Right, yeah, they
progress
had more
as a band.
money and time, and they wanted
Yeah.
to try stuff. No, absolutely.
dancing and
actually
all that
kinda
other
funny
stuff.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny you should bring them up because Bell and Sebastian's one of our bass players' favorite bands ever, and he
That's a good
when
one
he
if,
first
as a
heard
lyricist to
OK,
have. Yeah.
yeah, right, but like when he first heard OK Human, because he actually listened to it before I did, he was telling me that it reminded him a lot of like just like a lot of earlier kind of Saddle Creek record stuff when they were
Yeah,
kind
there
of
you go.
getting into the strings, right? A lot of like Tim Kasher or like Connor Oberst, Rilo Kiley kind of stuff.
I like to
And
think
I
of
can
it as.
definitely-
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, please.
No, I cut you off in the middle of the sentence. I'm more like again. I gotta stop doing.
We've been doing it all night.
Yeah.
I don't take it at all personally.
My
no, like,
ADHD
'cause, like,
medication is worn off by now, but so I'm holding
Same,
out.
I understand.
Yeah.
But like anything that just kind of draws from that like Burt Bacharach, Elvis Costello almost kind of influence, right? Because like obviously they're not the guys to invent string music, but I think like a lot of that stuff it already kind of made it cool to have like string instruments or more orchestra related stuff in like kind of quote unquote rock music or quote unquote pop music, right? So I think like you're absolutely right though, because I'm sure OK Human is drawing from the exact same wells that Bell and Sebastian was. Bell and Sebastian just did it like what 15, 20 years prior, you know, like Rivers had to finally work up the gumption to do it because he wanted to quit trying to just do a White Album again.
We all do. That's the unfortunate lesson for all of us, right? Eventually, we all have to decide to stop trying to remake our best album and try to make the best album of some other kind that we can, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Whatever you're feeling at that minute, right? Yeah, like honestly, that's sort of why our EP turned out the way it did. Because I was listening to like a lot of like. Yeah, no, thank you. And that's I don't want to say it was like too self-conscious, but like I think we're all kind of listening to like slightly popular stuff at the time, and I tried to teach myself keyboard last summer to make my own chiptunes albums. So there was a lot of like me hearing slightly more, I guess, like electronic music or even just stuff with a keyboard, right? Like, you guys know the band Ozma?
No.
They're absolutely fantastic. They're from California in like the late 90s, early 2000s. They get a lot of kind of unfair comparisons to Weezer. I don't think it's super out of the question, but like people hammer it home a little more than they should. But it's basically just that. It's basically just like kind of that prehistoric emo power pop sort of stuff, but with like a lot of pretty heavy synth involvement. And I was really into stuff like that. I'm not anywhere near that good, but like I wanted to, you know, it's just that additional texture. You know, it's like when Jets to Brazil started, and it's like, wow, this album's the guy from Jawbreaker, but there's like, I think there's a piano and there's a lot of like clean guitars. What is this?
Jets to Brazil.
Not that we're anywhere near that good.
No, well, I mean, I don't know if any of those members are as good as they used to be, you know? But that's a different thing. The one thing I was going to throw out there quick before I forgot.
Yeah. No, please.
I've been wanting to get this off my chest for a while about Glockamora, right? So.
Yes.
Dylan and I grew up in the Lehigh Valley our whole lives. Which a lot of that kind of stuff. It's weird that such like I don't know if I'm the one capable of explaining why so much semi-successful emo music came out of that particular part of nowhere, Pennsylvania. But certainly someone should and probably could. But back to the forum circle, the Lehigh Valley punk rock forums that we used to go on. Nate from Glockamora was in those forums all the time and like was, you know,
no fooling,
in our high school and all that stuff in that area. And so we've known him go like to some extent either from local shows or friends of friends or whatever. We've intermixed with that crowd for a long time, and I forget how long ago. It was like, you know, he went through High Tide Hotel for a while. He was in Snowing, playing guitar for a while. And,
I forgot about that.
Yep, and he was in Dogs on Acid, which actually I brought up the other day because we're getting ready to go see, or at least I am, a show at a coal pier, like where they would dump coal for the city to like unload and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
weird.
this
It's like
Sunday,
outdoors. Yeah, Sunday. And there's a show being hosted there that uh, I'm not familiar with their government name, but the person goes by Crime Bird on Twitter from Knife Punch. They threw a flyer our way that was like right down the street from me at this coal pier called Graffiti Pier in Philly. And the last time I was there was to see Nate Dion from Guacamora's band Dogs on Acid with I just forget his name. The guy from Jeeves Louise. Hop Along, the guitarist. Joe.
oh
Yep.
no, shit,
They
that's
were in a band
awesome.
together and they couldn't end up keep doing it because Hop Along was blowing up or whatever. And
Right.
but so Nate also bartended at one of my favorite bars in like one of the neighborhoods in Philly, like kind of there's like a couple little, you know, annoying hipstery neighborhoods, and then there's some that are like adjacent. But he bartended at this place called Lorraine's for a while, which is like a cool punk dive bar, where like all my friends from the Lehigh Valley that have been in punk bands for decades have always gone, and like all their stickers are all over the place and stuff. And so he was bartending there, and I remember right before the pandemic started, I was talking to him about like what his plans were and stuff, you know, like where
Right.
his, what was next for him musically and everything. And he's like, I'm moving to Connecticut, and I was like, why? And he was like, it's where my wife's family's from. That's where we're planning on living. And I was like, wow, wild. Like, you know, like I was like, okay, well, I'm happy for you. If we're ever up there, we'll definitely swing by and say hello. But just it's in another way of putting it, it's almost like it felt or it feels to some extent like a sort of changing of the guard of like that sort of basement emo DIY stuff from all the bands that I worshipped growing up have all kind of like sidestepped into other things here and there and are doing slightly different
Yeah.
things, you know. And,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
A lot of
like,
them have just jumped out of Philly in one way or the other, you know. And now it's the kids
Oh,
who
yeah,
are
well-
running the what do they call that when the like the animals are running the zoo kind of situation.
yeah, right. Inmates in asylums and
Mhm.
all that. Yeah.
That's what I'm
No, and
thinking.
especially when it's something like that that's kind of not that musical, right? Because it's one thing like it's one thing if it's kind of like somebody who's been around the scene for a long time, and it's like, hey, yeah, this was my famous band, it stopped for whatever reason. Now I've got another project going. It's like, okay, he's still out there playing shows, but it's like if somebody's moving away for just like basically non-music reasons, right? Because you know, try as we all might, there's not a lot of living in
Yeah.
music anymore, like financially. So
Oh, yeah,
when you
even the
see
most
something
famous
kind of like
bands
that,
in Philly all have day jobs.
oh goodness, exactly.
Yeah.
So actually, kind of going to what you said. One of my favorite stories about that is, so Joyce Manor. I was reading an interview a few years ago with Barry, and he was talking about how, long story short, they basically did not make enough money to not work between tours until like after $1 Million to Kill Me had come out. Like just knowing how many big shows Joyce Manor had been on, and like however successful,
I saw
quote
them
unquote successful
when I
they've
was
been.
studying abroad.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like they're doing well enough to play out of the country, right? And then he was talking about how up until like after $1 Million to Kill Me came out, they would still all have to just get like he would just have to go back to some Best Buy in SoCal for the next 6 months before like the next album was done and they went back out again, right? Like, and that in a weird way that sort of cheers me up because like, you know, I have a day job that I like well enough, and I know I'm never going to make enough money in a band called Bathroom of the Future to like not work at the day job anymore, right? But it's like, listen, even we've toured, right? We tried to get out there and do stuff, but even if we're at the point where we're getting out in front of more people, I'm still gonna have to come back and have my day job because I'm never gonna be bigger than Joyce Manor, and
Yeah.
he did it too.
And they went through the same stuff, right? And like
Right? Yeah.
you know, it's a weird concept, like uh the sort of professional musician, even for people that I know that like went to Berkeley and stuff, like that's like I forget who it was, but someone I was talking to, And I also saw someone else on Twitter talking about it. I don't know their name though, but I know their Twitter handle, and I also don't know how to pronounce their Twitter handle, so I'm not going to risk it. But
That's the hardest thing with
Yeah.
Twitter handles. You're fine. You're safe.
but they were talking about how they make most of their money as a musician from like weddings and stuff, which if
I absolutely believe that.
I went to film school, and I would say 90, the older I get, the more it seems like a higher percentage, but I'd say like 98% of people that go to film school, if they're making money from their education, it's either from weddings or like in-house commercial videography stuff, so.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
like,
no, the place I work actually has a lot of stuff like that too. Like I have a ton of people I work with that do like graphic design or video production, whatever. And it's exactly like you were saying. It's like, yeah, I went to there's I forget what it's called, but there's a pretty good like film and media school here in Michigan, and like 9 times out of 10 people wind up going to that, and then we're in Michigan, right? So you go there, and then you're shooting car commercials 2 years after you graduate.
That checks though, I
Oh
shared
yeah, no,
this,
the money's good. You're getting that Chrysler
Yeah.
doll. Still.
the laundered petrodollar, if you will. But
Yeah, exactly.
I shared this on Instagram or was it today even, or yesterday? I don't know, but I think it was yesterday. But this is a flyer promoting all the shows in our hometown for summer. I want to say probably like
I think
summer
it was 2011.
No, dude, it was like 2008.
It was definitely 2009 if we were playing a show with Sprainerd.
It was
Oh, nerd.
yeah, it was either my last year of high school or first year of community college, I don't recall, which would have been 08, 09, or 09, 10,
I'm fairly certain it was 09.
That squares for that summer, although, regardless, I mean, all these bands, a lot of them, I mean, the ones that survived are sick, but like, a lot of them, even that didn't make it, are also very sick, and like that Secret Cutter show, at the time I probably didn't give two shits about, but I wish I went to it.
And even because Sprainerd, they were big in a sense, right? And weren't they broken up for like a year or two or something?
And like the reason I brought it up,
somebody quit and they just quit doing it or something. Yeah.
From like 2010 to 2015, and then they've just kind of been like off and on just for like shows, like bigger shows since then.
Yeah, they're kind of on that fest circuit, right? They got like big enough where they can hop on the big cool stuff, but like maybe if they have a second, they can put an album out. That'd be tight.
But the thing that I was thinking about was that I was talking to Pat from Sprainerd. I want to say, I don't remember what show it was. It was a show at the first Unitarian in Philly, and I was asking what was going on with Sprainerd in general or whatever, and like they were still friends and they were like talking about what they wanted to do next and everything, but they had their own projects. But Dose from Sprainerd ended up going into Joyce Manor, which I believe he's still doing.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so the drummer from Sprainerd was like the new drummer for Joyce Manor at that time. But like knowing those guys, like it's definitely not, even today, like still not enough entirely to be a comfortable.
Oh yeah, no, they're
you know?
they're not going to be Sprainerd full time. Yeah, like they're going to get like cool
Well, even,
opportunities to go
even
down
Joyce
and play.
Manor, like
you're
you're splitting it across all those members of your band and everything. Like, you gotta think about.
Oh
like,
yeah,
what kind of monthly income you can pull from that. When you think about the fact, this is what I get so frustrated about. Is like, you gotta have startup costs for merch if you want to like run the merch avenue, and then with shows you have to have the luxury of like, it's almost like an unpaid internship sometimes, and then with actual digital like, music, it's like nearly impossible to game the system, and like the house always wins.
Whatever drops
you know?
you're getting from that, yeah.
So like I think I admire and I respect people that have the drive to make it a full-time job, but I think I think anything that is currently a full-time job, they're trying to find ways to make it not a full-time job, no matter what field you're in, you know? Like, so, I just got asked to 1v1 someone in the chat. So let's give it a shot and see how it goes.
Heck yeah.
Am I still streaming it in the Discord?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any shows that you're planning on playing?
We have actually we have a streaming show coming up in 2 weeks on August 8th on there's a Twitch channel called twitch.tv/Schwonk, SCHWONK. It's the name of this house venue here in Michigan that kind of over the pandemic and through this year they set themselves up to stream all their shows on Twitch a while ago, but they've been kind of just Twitch streaming for a long time. We were supposed to do it late June to celebrate the EP release, but we had to move it out for some personal reasons, and this was the only date they had available. So we got that coming up in a few weeks, and then right now we have some kind of cool stuff at we have some kind of cool stuff at the end of the year that's also gotten rescheduled. Like we're opening for the Cybertronic Spree at one of my favorite venues here in Michigan that we were supposed to have played in May of 2020, and you can imagine how that went. And then we got a couple other big navies. Right, we got a couple other big navies. There's some like cool festivals and stuff coming up in September because a lot of the really cool like Michigan kind of local band fests tend to happen in like late summer, early fall around here. So we got some irons in the fire for all that we're hoping to hear back about. But otherwise, we're just kind of playing it by ear. We've been offered some stuff, but like between everybody's schedule and us just kind of feeling out how things were going, I don't think we're going to be like back in person for a second yet. But I do want to point out that I'm not saying that to begrudge anybody that is playing shows. I don't think it's that I think people shouldn't be playing shows yet necessarily. It's just not quite in the cards for us. Because, like I said, our bass player is going to be out of the state for like a lot of August. So like between that and everything else going on, we're just other than that streaming show everybody should come watch. We're going to be kind of taking it easy and seeing what the universe throws at us. And I wanted to throw that in there because I didn't know if like y'all had any shows lined up, and I didn't want you to think I was trying to like big league everybody by saying like we shouldn't be playing shows yet. It's just we aren't quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, we have some shows.
I mean, I
basically
definitely
in
have
Philly
been having
lined up.
fun with these live stream shows we've been doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, and those are cool. And like, yeah, I'm super looking forward to going to the Schwonk. Like, the sound quality is great. They really know what they're doing. I'm gonna be kind of excited to like play the new stuff for basically the first time in front of anybody, right? Like, even if I can't see them, so that'll be kind of tight. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the next big thing we got for shows, at least for another month or two, I would say.
I got clowned on because I taunted when it had not yet won.
You got this.
Dude, I don't know, like, I asked my girlfriend to stop streaming the Olympics on our Apple TV because I thought maybe that would be causing some of this lag. Then I tried connecting to a different Wi-Fi connection. I am streaming this, but I've also streamed this and not had insane lag, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Stuff like this, especially because I'm assuming this has all got to be like P2P, right? Like,
yeah,
I
so
assume
it might be distance.
there's so many. Yeah, there's so many X factors that are going to make it kind of goofy, right? Because I'm sure, you know, even with decent computers when we were playing, I'm sure just the act of like two people talking on Discord while trying to make a software run a 20-year-old console game that wasn't made to be played on the internet, you know?
No, I mean, I might have to.
Yeah, I think it's the dancing babies.
It could be the dancing babies. I might have I might have to 1v1 this person after the stream just to see if it's still doing it for control reasons. But
do that.
The thing that I thought was funny is that they said in the chat, they're like, this connection is bad, and like meanwhile I'm looking at the ping in the top left corner and it's spiked up to 452, which is officially the highest ping I've ever seen. Like,
there it is. Yeah,
talk about an
that's what we talked about earlier.
understatement.
That's that like late '90s Counter-Strike game.
Yeah. I, honest to God, may be worse than like playing Unreal Tournament on PlayStation 2 with the adapter.
Network adapter. Okay, well, unfortunately, I gotta get going in a second because I'm an old man with a bedtime. But one of my favorite memories of working at GameStop is, you know, the port on the back of the PS2s that would plug into.
Yeah.
That was like whenever somebody sold us a used PS2, that was like the first place we to look to make sure nothing was in there, because like at least one time we found like a dead cockroach in there.
Oh,
And then like later that same year, there was definitely just like a quarter ounce of weed just like sucked into the back of this thing.
I've heard a lot of
That's
stories about
sick.
people storing weed in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was everybody's weed hole. Like nobody was buying the modem for this thing, right?
It's
So
like, yo, you're not gonna give them extra cash back for that? What the fuck?
yeah, company policy, man. Sorry, I can't alter the trade value, sir. I remember once somebody brought in a PS2, and you know we always have to like plug them in and just make sure they turn on or whatever. And also, it's a quick way to make sure they didn't leave something in there, right? So I pop it open, and I only see the disc for a second, but it's definitely just like a smiling blonde woman and like XXX in huge blue letters up top. So without looking at it, I tuck it into the dude's like the dude had a copy of like San Andreas that we couldn't take in for some reason. So I like tuck it in there. I slide it over the counter. Like, hey man, you left some in the PS2. I figured you didn't want to sell that to us. And the look on his face haunts me to this day. Like the dude wanted to just like. I don't remember ever seeing him come into my GameStop again, and I honestly do wonder if it was just like out of shame. Like, look, I just handed this like 19-year-old my like clearly my favorite porn, and now I can't go back to the mall.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good times. It was good times.
Oh boy, I'm getting my ass kicked in about 4 frames per second. So when's the date for the next show you were saying? And also, when are you coming to the East Coast? I was trying not to
August.
lose, so.
You know what? August 8th, and as soon as we absolutely can. You know what's kind of funny? I wish we'd all become friends like a little sooner, because our last tour was summer of 2019, and we spent a week going out east, and like, I don't think we were anywhere around y'all, and unfortunately I wouldn't have known to hit you up if I could, so like, next time we do, we're going to do it right this time, David.
Well, we've never
yeah.
toured, and the furthest out we played
And
was
we
okay.
never will.
Yeah, never will.
That's the attitude. Well, if you ever find yourselves in Michigan, let me know.
Chicago and Michigan, and like a Long Island, Connecticut shows. Those are 2 high priority ones for me.
Yeah, well, you know, let me know. I will do everything I can to help you out whenever y'all find yourselves out this way. Bring a jacket. It is the weather is as miserable as you've heard, no matter what time of year.
I'm my family lives up in Maine, which I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, I understand it's not too dissimilar sometimes. Yeah, I feel like they're just far north enough.
It's just less lake effect, which is my least favorite part of the other city in Pennsylvania, which should not be named on this stream ever. So.
Well, I want to ask for elaboration, but like I'm sure I know. Ooh, there it is.
You did it.
I always forgot how technically close to them we were, because on that tour we drove from Ohio to stay at a friend's house in Pittsburgh, and it was way closer than I expected. Because I hear it, and
basically the Midwest.
It is, yeah, because I hear it and I think like, oh yeah, that's all the way out east, and it's like my dad's from Ohio, so I was down in Ohio all the time growing up, so that never seemed too far. But that's like, oh yeah, holy crap, I'm technically in Pennsylvania right now, and I've been driving for like under an hour. This is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean I remember one time we decided not to take the turnpike to Pittsburgh or back from it. I don't remember which, but it took like 12 hours.
Good Lord.
On like
No, it takes like 8. He's exaggerating.
No, dude, like
okay,
it was supposed to take 8,
lot.
but it took like slightly more than 8, and I just rounded up to 12 because it drove me insane.
No, when you measure car drives, you have to go up in like 2 or 4 hour increments.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you guys are just Midwestern enough that you know about driving a lot of places, right? Like we love that here. Nobody will fly anywhere.
I think we're if you turn the country 90 degrees to the right, clockwise, then we're in the Midwest. We're the middle of the East Coast. So,
welcome to it. You're not going to be drinking Yangling anymore, but welcome.
And we're on the north side of the Midwest, where the rest is literally uninhabitable because it's ocean. In your case, it's just full of horrible monsters and also deadly insects and animals. So, but
yeah, when you say it like that, it's like we're in Australia.
pretty close to it. That I have,
America's Australia. Got it.
I have a map at work because I work in like logistics for stuff, and occasionally I need to know where states are. I don't memorize it.
Right.
And I took a highlighter to highlight all the areas that were part of my do not enter zone, and like places I'm afraid to go, essentially, like northern Louisiana. And on Texas, I just put a question mark. And I remember my friend comes over, he's like, why is your do not enter area on your map there? Why is Texas a question mark? I was like, I have no idea what goes on there. No clue.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone in Texas does either, because it's one of those things where like you hear stuff about like Austin and Houston, but then you hear stuff about like South Texas, right? So I feel like Texas themselves question mark there.
Oh, now you got on top of that, you have like insane company town tycoons moving there, like all kinds
Right.
of weird shit. Like I don't know, man. It honestly seems like the prequel to Mad Max to me. But
they're on a completely different electric grid from everybody else. Their governor tries seceding every few years. Apparently, every video game company in the States is in Dallas now. Like, I could not imagine.
well, this was a lot of fun, and I felt like we had
It was.
a
Thanks.
lot of interesting things to talk about. So
We absolutely did. No, this was fantastic. Actually, it's kind of nice to sort of quote unquote meet y'all, because I think it's the first time I talked to you outside of like Twitch chats or like Twitter shit posting ever. So this has been fun.
Yeah.
it's already awkward when we like go to shows and like it's like, should we introduce ourselves to people that we
Yeah,
talk
I,
to
Right.
online?
I'm like,
Oh my God,
tap
yeah.
Alex, and I'm like, I think that's this person from Twitter, but I'm like 80% sure.
Oh goodness, yeah, no, that happens to us a lot. Where like, especially back when shows were happening more regularly, but it'd be like, hey, yeah, so we're playing a show with this band for the first time that we followed on Instagram for 6 months. I'm only half aware of some of their names. So it's going to be real weird when we technically meet them.
Yeah.
I'm like
going through that a lot these past couple months now that I've started going to like more DIY shows again.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
trying to be the Lenny to Dylan's George, you know. I'm just walking around with the hamster dance song in my head, just hoping for the best.
I thought you were going to say you're going to try to be the Lenny to his Carl, and I'm going to have to write down on my hand which one of you is Dylan now.
No, I'm trying. God damn it, Lenny! Put that rabbit down. Just holding like a raccoon I found in the street in Philly while we're on.
Which way did he go, Dylan? But you're just asking about like your gig bag.
Which tuning is it, Dylan? Which tuning is it?
Yep, there it is. Yeah, he got the little cabbie hat like the dude from Looney Tunes. Yeah.
And then Dylan just smacks. He's like, "God damn it, Alex!" And it's like, "Oh man." If I could be a.
Oh, good. Well, I look forward to seeing that in person when we come out east to hang with y'all.
Absolutely.
Well, now
yeah,
I
anybody
have
watching?
To smack you, Alex. You heard it here first.
We've already.
Yeah, that's canon now. That's canon. But yeah, thanks for
DIY
having me, everybody. Yeah, we'll be
too.
DIY SummerSlam. We'll do it earlier in the year.
Oh yeah. You going to see it in theaters?
I might. I've kind of been more of a AEW dude lately, but like if it's playing near me, I can't say I wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah, I'm more of an AEW guy, but I still might see SummerSlam in theaters for the novelty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Scenes on, versus Reigns versus Cena on the big screen.
Whew. Yeah, like that's worth going to.
Can you see it in 3D,
I could get tucked in.
They got that real. Do they got that real 3D there for that?
Oh no.
Oh shit! I hope so.
The chairs rumble every time somebody does a big move. Hell yeah.
SummerSlam in 4D.
See that would get me to do it. That would get me to watch WWE again.
James
the big
Cameron,
avatar glasses.
Yeah, James Cameron's directing. Oh boy. I think that's a good place to end it there. So, all right. Guys.
It is. Thanks so much for having me, everybody. This was wonderful. I'll catch you all soon. Yeah, we're streaming on 8/8. I'll put a link up on all of our socials. I'll catch everybody around. Thanks again for having me. Let's do this again sometime.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks again for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I will see you in the ship posting seas.
You will.
Ahoy.
Bye.
Later.